Hey everyone, this is LJ's daily housing market update. Today is February 9th, 2024, and let's get started with our interest rates. Your national top tier scenario interest rates for 30-year fixed mortgages, conventional loans were 6.98 versus your 30-year FHA around 6.24%. And you, from last week until this week, we have seen that the interest rates went up a little bit over 7%, and then they came down and they're still hovering around 7%, right? So when we're looking at this was according to your Mortgage News Daily, and then according to your Freddie Mac survey, the last one that they had, the averages for 30-year fixed rate mortgages was 6.64 versus your 15-year mortgages 5.90. And these, like I said, when you look at these headlines, always think of them as top tier scenario, meaning the credit scores is good, the loan down payment amount is good, excuse me, is a primary residence, and is going to be a single family property. Okay. If all these factors you guys can look at, all of them matter when it comes to your interest rates. So don't just look at the headlines, think of all these factors that go into it. Okay. Next, guys, your buying power. Today, we're going to be looking at your if you were to get a loan for $400,000, and we're just comparing your principal and interest for 6.98 versus 7.73. And 7.73 was, we have seen many files that closed under that in the last couple of months. So now, if the interest rates are coming down, that means your buying power is increasing. So for the same amount, for 26.55, your monthly payment for your principal and interest would have been for $371,000 loan, and now it can go up to $400,000. So the point of this slide is to show you guys that your buying power is increasing. So maybe you want to go back to your loan officer and say, hey, you gave me this pre-approval 6 months ago, 5 months ago, 4 months ago. Hey, can you tell me what do I qualify in today's market? And we like to give you different scenarios for affordability. So the first one is going to be a household income of $85,000. Down payment for them was $55,000. Their monthly debt, this is their minimum payments that they have to make on their credit cards or any revolving debt, was around $100. And their interest rate, we just using national averages. Their property taxes around $5,000, and their property insurance about $1,500. So this family with their DTI of 45% can purchase a property up to $438,000, and their maximum monthly payment will be around $3,087. Okay, you want to always have your DTI, debt to income ratio, low as possible so you can comfortably make these mortgage payments. The second one is for affordability. Number two is for another household income of $135,000. Their down payment is going to be larger, $110,000. Their debt, their monthly debt is also a little bit larger because they have more credit card debt, so their minimum payments are more, around $350 per month. Everything else remains the same as scenario number one. And now this household can purchase a property up to $738,000. But their monthly payment is going to be $47.12. Okay. Sometimes you qualify for more, but you just don't want to purchase all of that, right? You don't want to be burned of making that larger payment. You say, hey, I qualify for 700,000, but I'll be very happy with 550, 600,000. That's good for you. Okay, so this way you can comfortably make these mortgage payments. Also, these mortgage payments, your goal should be after purchasing the house is to pay down the loan, right? So you're building equity. One way of doing this is making extra payments. So you have your regular payments that you're making, make those as you don't want to touch that, right? You don't want to jeopardize that, let that. But if you want to make extra payments, it could be $100, $200, $300, $400, anything you can afford. And it's not required to make it every month. It's only optional if you want to make these extra payments. It's going to have a very, very positive effect on your mortgage in two ways. One is going to save you years, so that 30-year mortgage can be 25 years, 28 years, really depending on how many extra payments you're doing. So in this scenario here, if this family has their monthly P&I principal and interest of $4,100. And if they decide to put in another 350, now this family can save up to six years, and they can save up to $214,000 in interest. So all of a sudden, this 30-year mortgage all of a sudden turns into a 24-year mortgage. So you want to look at your extra payments and see what you can afford and start making those payments. Next, guys, your inflation plays a big role in these mortgages interest rates, right? Not directly, but indirectly. But the inflation rate is at around 3.4% right now. Fed is paying close attention to this at all times. The home prices have gone up for, since COVID hit. They have been going up and up and up. And there were some people who are just waiting on the sidelines. Hey, I'm going to wait a couple of more months and see, what happens. Guess what happened? Majority of the time in different markets and everything, the prices have gone up. Now those same people, now they're waiting for the interest rates to come down. If they're coming down, so is so many other people. The prices will not come down when the interest rate come down. You might be easily can afford this property, so can other people around you, and there's going to be a bidding war. Okay? Next, guys, today we want to go over FHA loan. So every day we want to go over a loan program with you guys. So today we want to talk about FHA. It's a really good program when you qualify for it. Sometime you have a person, maybe two people involved in one application. One of them, doesn't have great credit scores. So you're thinking, I'm going to go with conventional loan, but because of your spouse or your co-signer, you simply don't qualify for conventional. You might end up going with FHA. So FHA is a good program, but I just want you guys to know the pros and cons so you guys can decide, hey, if it's a good program for me or not. So number one is your credit scores. Your credit scores needs to be 580 credit scores or above in order to qualify for FHA. So now maybe your husband, right, has credit scores of 550 and you have 700. That person, your husband, cannot be added to your loan because they don't meet the guidelines. So you need to make sure the person who's going to be coming on your application as a co-signer does meet this guideline of 580 or more. Okay. Next is your down payment. You can sure put down 3.5% down payment for FHA. Your DTI, your debt to income ratio. Remember we were showing you earlier, that matters a lot. FHA tells you, hey, you can stretch your budget and go up to 54%. We do not recommend maxing out your DTI. You want to keep as low as possible so you can comfortably make your payments. Next is your closing cost, which is around 4 to 6% for FHA. Some of the key points that you should know for FHA, you can this is a con, this is a negative, that you have to make a upfront cost. There's an upfront cost for this FHA. Any FHA you get, you're paying this upfront fee of 1.75%. And it is a one-time fee. It can be added to the loan, but you still end up paying that. If you are going with a conventional loan, you do not have to worry about this 1.75% fee. Okay? Another negative thing about it is your mortgage insurance. If we said you're going to go with 3.5% down payment, your mortgage insurance will never go away. Okay? If you put down 10% or more on an FHA, then your mortgage insurance does go away, but after 11 years. Okay, as long as you guys know these guidelines, then you can choose wisely. And because it's an FHA loan, they want you to live there. It has to be a primary residence for at least 1 year. Okay, you can purchase 2-family, 3-family property, but you have to live in the one unit and you can rent out the others. You just need to show us 2 years of your tax returns, and we can review your pay stubs and tell you how much you qualify under FHA. Next, guys, we have a few new listings here. First one is in Floral Park, listed on MLS for $729, 2 bedrooms, 2 baths in Floral Park, New York. Second one is in New Hyde Park, listed for $850, 4 bedrooms, 2.5 baths. And the last one is in Jericho, 1.1, and is 4 bedrooms, 3 baths. So if you're looking in Queens, Long Island, anywhere in this area, New York, we have over 70 agents that can help you out. I'm the broker here, but we have 70 agents that are ready to help you out. Just connect with LJ Realty team here, and we'll give you a solid agent to work with. And every day we want to teach you a term to learn for your real estate. Today we want to talk about earnest deposit. Earnest deposit, think of it when you're signing a contract. You're the buyer, right? You're signing a contract saying, hey, I'm going to buy this house for $500,000, right? Okay, great. Let's put down 500. I'm going to buy it for $500,000. They agree on it. Let's sign the contract. How about if you want to back out? Right? How does the seller knows that you are serious about this transaction? So you have to put some money down. So when you're putting this money down on the contract, when you're signing the contract, that is called your earnest deposit. That money is held in escrow and it comes back to you as a down payment when at the closing table. But that money is still being held at in escrow account. So, how are you going to get that money back if you decide to cancel your contract? That all depends on your contract itself. That's why your attorney is going to be a very important person that's going to review the contract and tells you, hey, if you were to back out next week or tomorrow, you will not get this money back, or you will get X amount back, whatever, things might be. So you want to talk to your attorney and say, hey, on the contract, I'm signing this contract. I have to put down this earnest deposit money. How I'm going to get that money back if I decide to cancel. Okay, guys, the home prices we mentioned have been going up in New York from every different county that you can think of. But look at these historical stats here. So from Queens to Nassau, you guys can see from 5 years, 10 years, and up to 63 years, over 4% year over year appreciation. Okay, this was for Queens and this is for Nassau. Okay. Again, today we want to talk about one person that's really important. Let's stick with attorney. We mentioned your earnest deposit, you're putting it on the contract. Your attorney plays a huge role. First is how you're going to pick this attorney. That you should really do your research. Even if your real estate agent tells you, hey, I recommend this person or I recommend that attorney, really do your research and say, hey, if I really want to go with this person or not. Okay, that attorney can really save you a lot of money, or on the other hand, make you lose a lot of money if there's something against you in the contract. One example is who's going to be paying your seller your transfer tax. Majority of the time, the transfer tax is paid by the seller, but it's all negotiable, right? It could be written in the contract, hey, the buyer is going to pay the transfer tax, and you had no idea you were paying that. At the closing table, they say, hey, guess what? You have to come up with the X amount of more money because you have to pay the transfer tax. Had your attorney told you that initially, you would have had no issues, right? You would either renegotiate it or not sign the contract. So attorney plays a huge role when you're buying a house. Okay, guys, if you're trying to purchase a house in 2024, first focus on your income, focus on your savings, try to reduce your debt much as possible, and increase your credit scores much as possible. You will have more options with the loan program, better terms when you have better credit scores. Okay, down payment, just don't think of down payment. You need closing cost as well. So 3 to 5% down payment, 3 to 5% your closing cost. So you should have 8 to 10%. If you want to get started, there are programs that will allow you to do a little bit less. But I just don't want you to be surprised. Okay, so see what you can qualify for based on that. Credit scores, you guys should know that if you're just starting out, 580. That's the number you want to focus on. Hey, I have to reach 580 so this way I can qualify for FHA. If you already reached that, then it should be 620. Hey, I need 620 or more so I can get conventional loan options. If your credit score is above 700, that's really good. You want to keep increasing it much as possible. Okay. And we already showed you guys today the national averages for mortgages rates around 7%. If someone is telling you, hey, I can offer you 5%, question that, hey, how are you going to give me that? If I'm giving you, if I'm going to buy down or not. If I am going to buy down, tell me how much it's going to cost me and what is going to save me. If it's going to cost me $4,000 and save me $82 per month, that means it's going to take me 4 years to get that money back. But you have to decide if you want to move forward with buying down and if it makes sense or not. Okay, Guys, we have about 16 loan officers here at LJ Mortgage team that are ready to help you out, answer any loan questions, any questions that you might have with pre-approvals, qualification. Just reach out to LJ Mortgage team here. If you're a real estate agent watching this, guys, we have we give you all the tools if you join our team that you need to succeed. We don't charge any office fees, no desk fees, and you can get up to 100% commission if you close 8 deals in 12 months. Okay, that will do it from my end, guys. Thank you so much for watching.